The deep space probe moved slowly through the dark void between stars. Its metal body was no bigger than a small house, but it carried the most advanced sensors the Galactic Exploration Council had ever built. For 3 years, it had been traveling toward the outer edge of the galaxy, looking for new worlds that might support life. Commander Zixtal sat in his chair on the bridge of the exploration ship times Star Wanderer **, watching the data stream in from the probe. His 4 arms moved quickly across the control panels, checking readings that seemed impossible. His large, dark eyes grew wider with each new piece of information. "Dr. Velnar, you need to see this," Zixtal called to his science officer. His voice carried the strange clicking sounds that all members of his species made when they were excited. Dr. Velnar hurried over, her tentacles moving in waves as she walked. She was one of the best scientists in the galactic network, and she had studied more alien worlds than anyone else alive. But when she looked at the probe's data, she made a sound that no one on the bridge had ever heard before. "That cannot be right," she whispered. "Run the scans again." The probe had found something amazing. In a small solar system with a yellow star, there was a blue and green planet covered with life. The amount of life on this world was incredible. The probe's sensors detected millions of different species living in water, on land, and in the air. But that was not the most shocking thing. The most shocking thing was what the probe did not detect. There were no communication signals coming from the planet. No messages to other worlds. No connection to the galactic network that linked every intelligent species in the galaxy. According to everything the aliens knew about how life developed, this should have been impossible. "How can a world with this much life not be part of the network?" asked Pilot Krendu from his station, his insect-like head turned toward the commander. "Every species joins the network when they become smart enough to travel between stars." Zixtal stared at the data for a long time. In all his years of exploration, he had never seen anything like this. Every intelligent species in the galaxy followed the same pattern. They developed on their home world, learned to travel in space, sent out signals looking for other life, and then joined the great community of star-traveling peoples. It had happened this way for millions of years. But this planet seemed different. The probe detected metal objects flying around the planet. These objects were clearly made by intelligent beings, not natural space rocks. This meant the planet's inhabitants had learned to travel in space. So why had they not contacted the galaxy? "Send a message to the Galactic Council," Zixtal ordered. "Tell them we have found something that changes everything we thought we knew about intelligent life." Dr. Velnar's tentacles moved faster as she prepared the message. "What should I tell them about the planet?" "Tell them we have found a world full of life that developed space travel without any help from the galaxy. Tell them these beings built their technology completely alone." The message traveled through space faster than light, carried by the quantum communication system that connected all ships in the galactic fleet. Within hours, it reached the great space station that served as the center of galactic government. The reaction was immediate and intense. Council members from hundreds of different species called emergency meetings. Scientists demanded copies of all the probe's data. Military commanders asked if these unknown beings might be dangerous. Philosophers argued about what this discovery meant for their understanding of life in the universe. On the bridge of the Times Star Wanderer *, Zixtal received new orders. The council wanted him to take his ship to this mysterious planet and learn everything he could about its inhabitants. But he was to be very careful. No contact with the aliens was allowed until the council could decide what to do. "Set course for the 3rd planet in the system," Zixtal ordered. "And send word to the fleet. Tell them to prepare the full observation package." As their ship turned toward the blue and green world, Dr. Velnar studied the probe's data more carefully. The more she learned, the more amazed she became. This planet was not just alive, it was more alive than any world in the galactic records. "Commander," she said, her voice full of wonder. "These beings live everywhere on their planet. The probe found them in the coldest places and the hottest places. They live on the highest mountains and in the deepest parts of their oceans. Some of them even live in places that would kill most galactic species in minutes." Pilot Krendu made a buzzing sound that meant he was confused. "That makes no sense. Intelligent species always live in the safest, most comfortable parts of their world. Why would anyone choose to live in dangerous places? I do not know, Dr. Velnar replied. But these beings seem to be different from anything we have ever encountered. As their ship moved closer to the mysterious planet, word of the discovery spread through the galactic network. On 1,000 different worlds, billions of beings learned about the planet where intelligent life had developed without any contact with the rest of the galaxy. Scientists called it the most important discovery in galactic history. The idea that intelligent beings could develop advanced technology completely on their own challenged everything they thought they knew about how intelligence worked in the universe. Soon, observation ships from dozens of different species were heading toward the outer spiral arm. Everyone wanted to see these mysterious beings for themselves. The planet that its inhabitants called Earth was about to receive more attention than it had ever known. But the humans living on Earth had no idea they were being watched. They continued their daily lives, completely unaware that their existence had just shocked an entire galaxy full of intelligent beings. The greatest discovery in galactic history was just beginning. The Times Star Wanderer Times arrived at Earth 3 weeks after the first discovery. Commander Zixtal ordered his crew to hide their ship behind the planet's moon so the humans could not see them. From this secret position, they could watch everything that happened on the blue and green world below. Dr. Velnar set up the most powerful observation equipment the galactic fleet had ever built. These machines could see and hear things happening on the planet's surface from hundreds of thousands of miles away. They could detect heat, movement, sound, and even the electrical signals that intelligent beings use to think. What Dr. Velnar saw in the first few hours of watching changed everything she thought she knew about intelligent life. "Commander, you must see this immediately," she called out, her tentacles shaking with excitement. "These humans are not like any beings we have ever studied." Zixtal moved quickly to her station and looked at the images on her screens. He saw humans walking around in a place covered with ice and snow. The temperature readings showed it was cold enough to freeze most galactic species solid in minutes. But these humans seemed perfectly comfortable. They were even playing in the snow. "Perhaps they have some kind of protective technology," Zixtal suggested. "Advanced clothing or heating devices we cannot detect." Dr. Velnar switched to a different part of the planet. Now the screens showed humans in a place where the sand was so hot it glowed. The temperature was high enough to cook most aliens alive. But again, the humans seemed happy. They were swimming in water, lying on the hot sand, and playing games. "Look at this," Dr. Velnar said, changing the view once more. This time, they saw humans climbing a mountain so high that the air was too thin for most species to breathe. The humans moved slowly, but they kept climbing toward the top. Pilot Krendu flew over to see what was happening. When he saw the images, his insect eyes went wide. "Why are they doing this? Are they being forced to go to these dangerous places?" Dr. Velnar checked her instruments. "No, there are no signs of force. According to my readings, they are choosing to go to these places. And look at their brain activity. They seem to be enjoying themselves." Over the next few days, the alien crew watched humans doing things that seemed impossible. They saw humans swimming deep underwater. So deep that the pressure should have crushed their bodies. They saw humans jumping out of flying machines with only thin pieces of cloth to slow their fall. They saw humans racing across dangerous terrain in loud, fast vehicles. But the most shocking discovery came when Dr. Velnar found humans living permanently in some of the most dangerous places on their planet. There were humans living on floating platforms in the middle of violent oceans. There were humans living in underground cities built into mountainsides. There were humans living in the middle of hot, dry deserts where nothing else could survive. "This cannot be normal behavior," Zixtal said, watching a group of humans skiing down a steep mountain covered in snow. "Intelligent species always try to live in the safest, most comfortable places possible." Dr. Velnar had been studying the observation data for days. She had learned to understand some of the humans' language by listening to their communication signals. What she discovered made the mystery even deeper. "Commander, I have translated some of their communications. They call these dangerous activities sports and adventure. They do them for fun. They actually seek out dangerous situations because they enjoy the challenge." The bridge went silent. No one knew what to say. In all the millions of years that galactic species had been exploring the universe, no one had ever found intelligent beings who looked for danger instead of avoiding it. There is more, Dr. Velnar continued. They have built special places where they can practice dangerous activities safely. They create artificial mountains to climb, artificial rivers to travel down, and artificial environments that copy the most dangerous places on their planet. She showed them images of humans in large buildings, running on moving platforms, lifting heavy objects, and practicing fighting with each other. All of this was done voluntarily, for enjoyment and health. Communications. Officer Trilna, who had been quietly listening to human radio and television signals, added her own shocking discoveries. They tell stories about humans who go to the most dangerous places on their planet just to see what is there. They celebrate these humans as heroes. Some humans even leave their safe homes to explore the deepest parts of their oceans, or the highest parts of their atmosphere. The alien crew watched as humans strapped themselves to rockets and flew to their planet's moon. They watched as humans sent machines to other planets in their solar system, just to learn what those worlds were like. They watched as humans built telescopes to look at distant stars, always searching for new things to discover. They are explorers, Zixtal realized. Just like us. But they explore their own dangerous world, the same way we explore safe space. Dr. Velnar began sending daily reports back to the Galactic Council. Each report contained new discoveries that amazed scientists across the galaxy. The humans were not just surviving on their dangerous world, they were thriving on it. They had turned their planet's dangers into opportunities for growth and learning. Word spread quickly through the galactic network. Soon, billions of aliens across hundreds of worlds were watching the observation feeds from Earth. Scientists, philosophers, artists, and ordinary citizens all wanted to see these incredible humans for themselves. Betting pools appeared on alien worlds, with people wagering on what impossible thing humans would do next. Some aliens predicted humans would try to climb their planet's tallest mountains. Others bet that humans would explore their deepest oceans. A few bold aliens even suggested humans might try to visit other planets. Every single bet turned out to be true. Humans were already doing all of these things and more. The observation data from Earth became the most popular entertainment in galactic history. Aliens who had never been interested in exploration began asking questions about dangerous worlds in their own solar systems. Young aliens started exercising and training their bodies, inspired by the incredible physical abilities they saw humans display. But perhaps the most important discovery was still to come. The aliens were about to learn that human physical abilities were only the beginning of what made these beings special. Dr. Velnar had been watching the humans for 2 months when she noticed something that confused her even more than their love of danger. She called Commander Zixtal to her station with urgency in her voice. "Commander, I think our translation systems are broken," she said, her tentacles moving nervously. The humans seemed to be speaking hundreds of different languages. Zixtal looked at the communication analysis on her screens. The computers had detected over 3,000 different human languages being used across the planet. This seemed impossible. "Check the systems again," Zixtal ordered. "Every intelligent species develops one language that everyone uses. How can one species have so many different ways to communicate?" Dr. Velnar ran the analysis 3 more times, but the results were always the same. Humans living in different parts of their planet spoke completely different languages. Not only that, but they had different customs, different beliefs, different ways of building their homes, and even different ways of preparing their food. Communications. Officer Trilna had been listening to human broadcasts from around the planet. She turned to the commander with wonder in her voice. "Sir, I have been studying their entertainment signals. The humans create music that sounds completely different depending on where they live. Some use instruments made of wood, others use instruments made of metal. Some sing in groups, others sing alone. Some make sounds that are gentle and soft. Others make sounds that are loud and powerful." She played examples of human music for the crew. They heard the soft, flowing sounds of human classical music. They heard the strong, rhythmic beats of human drums. They heard voices singing together in perfect harmony, and voices singing alone with raw emotion. Each style was completely different, but all of it was clearly created by the same species. Pilot Krendu was amazed. In my species, everyone makes music the same way. We learned one style of music thousands of years ago, and we still use it today. How can humans create so many different types of music? The mystery became even deeper when Dr. Velnar began studying human settlements. She found that humans built their homes in completely different ways depending on where they lived. In cold places, they built thick walls and steep roofs. In hot places, they built thin walls with lots of windows. In wet places, they built their homes high above the ground. In dry places, they dug their homes into the earth. But the most shocking discovery was that humans chose to build in different ways even when they lived in the same environment. Dr. Velnar found human cities where buildings of completely different styles stood right next to each other. Some buildings were tall and thin. Others were short and wide. Some were made of stone, others of metal, others of materials the aliens had never seen before. This should not be possible, Zixtal said, studying images of human cities. When a species learns the best way to build something, everyone copies that design. Why do humans keep using different designs when they could all use the best one? The answer came when Dr. Velnar learned to understand human written language. She discovered that humans did not just have different ways of speaking, building, and making music. They had different ways of thinking about everything. She found human writings about hundreds of different belief systems. Some humans believed in one powerful god, others believed in many gods, and still others believed in no gods at all. Some humans thought the most important thing in life was to help other people. Others thought the most important thing was to learn as much as possible. Still others thought the most important thing was to create beautiful art. They are not one people, Dr. Velnar reported to the Galactic Council. They are thousands of different peoples who all happen to be the same species. This news shocked scientists across the galaxy. In every known intelligent species, individuals thought in basically the same way. They might disagree about small things, but they shared the same basic beliefs about what was important and how life should be lived. But then Dr. Velnar made a discovery that shocked her even more than human diversity. Despite all their differences, humans regularly worked together on projects that were bigger than any single group could complete. She watched as humans from different continents worked together to build a space station. They spoke different languages and came from cultures with completely different beliefs, but they found ways to communicate and cooperate. When one group had a problem, other groups would send help, even if they lived on the other side of the planet. She watched as human scientists shared their discoveries freely with scientists from other cultures. A human in one part of the world would make an important discovery and immediately tell humans everywhere else about it. They did this even when the other humans belonged to different countries or believed different things. Most amazing of all, she watched as humans created art that combined ideas from many different cultures. She saw human musicians playing instruments from dozens of different traditions in the same song. She saw human artists creating paintings that used techniques learned from cultures around the world. She saw human writers telling stories that brought together wisdom from many different belief systems. How do they coordinate all of this? Asked Pilot Krendu. My species needs the Central Planning Committee to organize anything involving more than 100 individuals, but humans seem to organize projects involving millions of people without any central authority. Dr. Velnar had been wondering the same thing. She studied human communication networks and found something incredible. Humans had built a global system that let any human talk to any other human, anywhere on the planet, almost instantly. They used this system not just to share information, but to organize cooperative projects. She watched as humans who had never met each other worked together to solve problems. When earthquakes or storms damaged human settlements, humans from around the world would send help within hours. When diseases threatened human populations, scientists from different cultures would work together to find treatments. When humans wanted to explore space, they would combine resources and knowledge from many different countries. The aliens realized they were watching something that had never been seen before in galactic history. Humans had achieved unity without uniformity. They had learned to work together while keeping their differences. Send this data to all council members immediately, Zixtal ordered. The philosophers and social scientists need to see this. When the Galactic Council received the cultural data from Earth, it started the biggest scientific discussion in galactic history. Social scientists from hundreds of worlds tried to understand how human society worked. They created new theories about intelligence, cooperation, and cultural development. Many aliens began to wonder if their own societies had missed something important. For millions of years, galactic species had believed that unity required everyone to think and act in the same way. But humans proved that different groups could work together while keeping their own unique ways of life. Young aliens across the galaxy began studying human art, music, and literature. They started experimenting with new forms of creative expression. Some alien worlds began encouraging diversity instead of requiring conformity. But the aliens watching Earth were about to witness something even more amazing than human cultural diversity. They were about to see what humans could do when their entire species faced the greatest danger imaginable. Dr. Velnar was studying human art when her instruments detected something terrifying. A massive space rock was moving through the solar system, heading directly toward Earth. She ran the calculations 3 times to make sure she was right. Each time, the result was the same. "Commander Zixtal," she called out. "We have an emergency. A large asteroid is going to hit Earth in 18 months. Zixtal hurried to her station and looked at the data. The asteroid was enormous, bigger than the largest human cities. When it hit Earth, it would cause explosions, earthquakes, and massive clouds of dust and rock. Most life on the planet would die. "How big is the impact zone?" Zixtal asked. "The entire planet," Dr. Velnar replied quietly. "Commander, this asteroid will cause a mass extinction. The humans have no chance of surviving this." The bridge crew stood in shocked silence. For months, they had been watching these amazing humans, learning about their incredible abilities and their fascinating culture. Now they were about to watch them all die. Communications Officer Trilna spoke first. "Sir, we must warn them. Our weapons can destroy the asteroid before it reaches Earth." Pilot Krendo agreed. "We have saved other species from natural disasters before. The humans have no technology that can stop something this large." But Zixtal remembered his orders from the Galactic Council. "We are not permitted to make contact with the humans. Any interference could change their natural development." Dr. Velnar checked her calculations again. "Commander, the humans will detect this asteroid in approximately 6 months. That should give them time to evacuate their population to safe areas on other continents." "Will that save them?" asked Trilna. "No," Dr. Velnar admitted. "The impact will affect the entire planet. Even humans on the far side of Earth will not survive the climate changes that follow." Zixtal made a difficult decision. "Send an emergency message to the Galactic Council. Tell them about the asteroid and request permission to intervene, but until we receive new orders, we observe only." The message reached the Council quickly, and the response came back even faster than expected. The Council was divided. Some members wanted to save the humans immediately. Others argued that interfering with a developing species was against galactic law. The debate could last for months. Meanwhile, Dr. Velnar continued watching Earth. 6 months later, exactly when she predicted, human astronomers discovered the approaching asteroid. She waited to see how they would react to learning that their species was about to become extinct. What happened next amazed every alien observer. Instead of panic or despair, humans immediately began working together on a scale the aliens had never seen before. Within weeks, every human government on Earth had joined a single project focused on stopping the asteroid. Countries that had been enemies for decades suddenly began sharing their resources and knowledge. Dr. Velnar watched as humans worked around the clock to design solutions. She saw scientists from different cultures working together in the same laboratories. She saw engineers combining technologies from different countries to build new types of spacecraft. She saw mathematicians sharing calculations that helped everyone understand the problem better. "Commander, you need to see this," Dr. Velnar called out. "The humans are not trying to escape. They are trying to stop the asteroid." Zixtal looked at the data from Earth. Humans were building rockets bigger than anything they had ever built before. They were creating powerful bombs designed to break the asteroid into smaller pieces. They were even designing special engines that could push against the asteroid and change its direction. "That is impossible," Pilot Krendu said. "Their technology is too primitive. The asteroid is too large and moving too fast." But the humans kept working. Dr. Velnar watched them launch dozens of spacecraft toward the asteroid. Some missions failed, but the humans learned from each failure and tried again. They sent robots to land on the asteroid and study its structure. They fired small explosives to test how the rock would break apart. As the asteroid came closer, the aliens watching from their hidden ship could see something extraordinary happening on Earth. Instead of each group trying to save only themselves, humans worked to make sure everyone would be safe. Dr. Velnar monitored human communications as they coordinated the largest evacuation in their planet's history. Humans from safe areas opened their homes to humans from dangerous areas. Countries with extra food sent supplies to countries that needed help. Rich humans gave money to help poor humans relocate to safer places. "Commander," Trilna reported, "the humans are broadcasting music and art to their entire planet. Even though they know they might die, they are trying to keep everyone's spirits strong." The aliens listened as humans sang songs of hope and courage. They watched as human artists created beautiful images to remind people of everything worth saving on their planet. They saw human leaders giving speeches that promised no one would be left behind. With 3 months until impact, humans launched their final mission. 12 large spacecraft, each carrying powerful nuclear bombs, flew toward the asteroid. The plan was to explode these bombs at exactly the right time and place to break the asteroid apart or push it away from Earth. Every alien in the galactic fleet watched as the human spacecraft reached their target. The explosions lit up space like tiny stars. For several hours, no one knew if the mission had worked. Then Dr. Velnar's instruments detected a change in the asteroid's path. The explosions had worked. The asteroid would miss Earth by a safe distance. But what happened next moved the alien observers in ways they had never experienced before. Instead of celebrating their victory, the first thing humans did was check on each other. Leaders from around the world called each other to make sure everyone was safe. Humans who had been evacuated to other areas immediately began planning how to help rebuild damaged communities. Scientists started designing better systems to detect future asteroids. Dr. Velnar found herself making the same emotional sounds that humans made when they were moved by something beautiful. "Commander." In their moment of greatest triumph, their first thought was not of themselves. Their first thought was of how to help others. The crew of the Times, Star Wanderer Times, sat quietly, watching as humans around the world celebrated together. They sang the same songs in hundreds of different languages. They shared food and stories and hope for the future. Children who had been born during the crisis played games about the brave humans who had saved their world. "Send a new message to the Galactic Council," Zeextal ordered. "Tell them that we have witnessed something unprecedented. Tell them that these humans have shown courage, intelligence, and compassion beyond anything in our records." The story of how humans saved themselves from extinction spread across the galaxy faster than any news had ever traveled. The images of humans working together, helping each other, and never giving up became the most viewed content in galactic history. Alien philosophers began writing new theories about courage and cooperation. Alien artists created works inspired by human determination. Young aliens across the galaxy began studying human methods of problem-solving and teamwork. But perhaps most importantly, the Galactic Council finally reached a unanimous decision about what to do with these remarkable humans. The Galactic Council chambers had never been so crowded. Representatives from every known intelligent species in the galaxy came to hear the final report about the humans. For the first time in recorded galactic history, the Council was about to make a unanimous decision. Council Leader Mordan, an ancient being whose species had been exploring space longer than any other, stood before the Great Assembly. Her voice carried across the vast chamber as she spoke. "We have observed these humans for over 1 year," she announced. "We have seen them survive in conditions that would kill most of us. We have seen them maintain thousands of different cultures while working together as one species. We have seen them face extinction and choose to fight rather than surrender. She paused and looked around the chamber. But most importantly, we have seen them define strength, not by their ability to destroy, but by their willingness to protect and help others. The chamber was silent. Representatives from hundreds of worlds listened as Mordon continued. The Council has decided that humanity should be invited to join the Galactic Network, not as students who need our guidance, but as teachers who can help us all become better. Commander Zixtal received the message while his ship was still hidden behind Earth's moon. The Council wanted him to make first contact with humanity immediately. They also wanted him to deliver a special message. "You will tell the humans that we have been watching them," the message explained. "You will tell them that we are amazed by what they have achieved. And you will tell them that we believe they can help make the galaxy a better place for all intelligent life." Zixtal called his crew together. "Dr. Velnar, prepare a communication system that can translate our language into all major human languages. Trilna, monitor their communication networks and find the best place to make contact. Krendu, prepare the ship for our first flight into Earth's atmosphere." After months of watching from a distance, the aliens were finally going to meet the humans face to face. Dr. Velnar suggested they contact the United Nations, a human organization where representatives from all Earth's countries work together. "This seems to be their version of our Galactic Council," she explained. 3 days later, the Times Star Wanderer Times appeared in the sky above New York City. The ship's smooth, silver surface reflected the sunlight as it slowly descended toward the United Nations building. Humans around the world watched on their communication networks as the first alien visitors to Earth prepared to land. Commander Zixtal walked out of his ship and stood before the gathered human leaders. His forearms moved in the traditional galactic greeting as Dr. Velnar's translation systems converted his words into dozens of human languages. "People of Earth," he began, "we bring greetings from the Galactic Network of Intelligent Species. We have traveled across the galaxy to meet you, and we are honored to finally stand in your presence." The human representatives listened carefully as Zixtal continued. "For millions of years, we thought we understood what it meant to be intelligent, what it meant to be strong, and what it meant to be civilized. You have taught us that we still have much to learn." He gestured toward the sky, where other alien ships were now appearing. "We have been watching you for over a year. We have seen you thrive in environments that would challenge our best explorers. We have seen you maintain incredible diversity while achieving unity that surpasses anything in galactic history. We have seen you face extinction and respond with courage, creativity, and compassion." The human Secretary General, an elderly woman named Elena Vasquez, stepped forward to respond. She had been chosen to speak for humanity because she had spent her life helping refugees from conflicts around the world. "Visitors from the stars," she said, "we welcome you to our world. We are honored that you have come so far to meet us." She paused and smiled. "You say you have been watching us and learning from us. We hope that we can also learn from you. We have always dreamed of finding other intelligent life in the universe. Today, that dream becomes reality." Commander Zixtal made the clicking sound that meant joy in his species. "Secretary General Vasquez, the Galactic Council has voted unanimously to invite humanity to join our community as full members. But we do not invite you because you need our help. We invite you because we need yours." Over the following weeks, humans around the world watched as alien representatives explained the Galactic Network. They learned about hundreds of different species spread across thousands of worlds. They learned about technologies that could travel faster than light, about sciences that could heal any disease, and about art forms that had developed over millions of years. But the aliens were equally amazed by what they learned about humanity. Dr. Velnar spent days studying human music and found emotional complexity that no galactic species had ever achieved. Alien scientists discovered that human creativity came from their ability to combine ideas from many different sources, something that other species rarely did. Most importantly, alien social scientists realized that human society worked in ways that could help solve problems across the galaxy. "You see," explained Dr. Elena Chen, a human anthropologist, to a gathering of alien social scientists, We learned long ago that our differences make us stronger. When people from different cultures work together, they create solutions that no single culture could develop alone. She showed them examples of human achievements that had come from combining knowledge from different parts of Earth. Our space program succeeded because we used mathematics developed in ancient India, engineering principles discovered in China, materials science from Europe, and manufacturing techniques from America and Japan. An alien philosopher named Quiltar asked, "But how do you prevent conflicts when groups have such different beliefs?" Dr. Chen smiled. "We do not prevent all conflicts. Humans still disagree about many things. But we have learned that we can disagree about some things while working together on others. We focus on what we share, rather than what divides us." This idea revolutionized galactic thinking. For millions of years, alien species had believed that cooperation required complete agreement. They had avoided working with other species because of small differences in culture or philosophy. But humans showed them a different way. Within months of first contact, alien species began forming new partnerships based on the human model. Scientists from different worlds started sharing knowledge, even when their species had different beliefs. Artists began creating works that combined techniques from multiple alien cultures. Most remarkably, the Galactic Council changed its structure to include representatives from different cultural groups within each species, following the human example of unity and diversity. 1 year after first contact, humanity's first representative to the Galactic Council gave a speech that became legendary throughout the galaxy. Dr. Amara Okafor, a former refugee who had become a quantum physicist, stood before the Great Assembly and delivered humanity's first formal address to the galactic community. "Fellow beings of the galaxy," she said, "you have welcomed us into your community with kindness and respect. You have shared your knowledge and your friendship. In return, we offer you our most valuable gift, the understanding that strength comes not from being the same, but from choosing to work together despite our differences." She gestured toward the diverse gathering of alien representatives. "Each of our species sees the universe differently. Each of us has unique gifts and perspectives. When we combine these gifts, we can solve problems and create wonders that none of us could achieve alone." Dr. Okafor's words inspired changes across the galaxy. Alien schools began teaching human-style cooperation alongside traditional subjects. Young aliens started forming diverse groups to work on creative projects. Even ancient species that had been isolated for thousands of years began reaching out to make new friends. The discovery of humanity marked the beginning of a new age in galactic civilization. For the first time in millions of years, different species were actively learning from each other rather than simply coexisting. And on Earth, humans looked up at the stars with new hope and excitement. They were no longer alone in the universe. They were part of something bigger, a great community of intelligent beings working together to explore the mysteries of creation. The galaxy had found Earth and watched in amazement. Now Earth was ready to amaze the galaxy in return.